Hey everyone, welcome to Lauren de Laguna. Thank you so much for being here. Um, Michael is running a little bit late, but I am so excited to have him on as a guest, and he is just amazing. I'm sure if you watch Fox, you've seen him before. He's on Gutfeld like every other week, if not more often. He's just on there all the time. If you haven't seen him on there, I'm sure you've seen some of his work, like if you've seen anger management. Um, Hold on, I am getting reverb. So let me figure out. I think, um, Henry, can you turn off your mic? Hold on 1 second. Okay, so much better. All right. Hold on, let me figure out what is happening here. I don't know if YouTube is on. There we go. I can hear myself think again. My YouTube was playing in the background and I was hearing myself think. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are back. Um, Yeah, anyway, so he is just a great guy. If you've seen anger management, then you've seen him before. And he's done so many other things. He's worked with Charlie Sheen, he's worked with George Lopez, and I'm very excited to have him on. But before he gets here, because he did tell me he was going to run a little bit late, this is going to give me time to just tell you what's happening with our channel. So we have a lot of things going on. I am taking the bar soon, so we are going to have a little bit of gap in content coming up, but we'll be right back to it when I'm done with the bar. That is on the 21st and 22nd of February. But we have some really great guests coming up. We have Theron K. Cal, or RBR Network, as you may know him. He is a Black man who promotes Black rights in his own way. Very interesting guy. Um, we have Nasty Nathaniel coming up. He's not only a fan, but he's also someone who's just very interesting to watch. He has his own content, his own YouTube channel, and he is out there fighting the good fight. So definitely check out his content because he's just great. We have Brick Suit coming up. He's a Trump hype man. He'll get up on the stage. He's a conservative. He helps, but he does more than just Trump. He helps like conservatives. He's involved in the Republican National Committee and all of that. So he's just intricately involved in politics. We have Eric Abinante, who is a documentarian. He's going to be talking about some of his documentaries. I'm in the middle of watching one, and I'm going to be watching several of them, and then we're going to be discussing parts of them. He does political documentaries, so he does documentaries on like he did one on the last election, and that's the one that I'm watching now. And he has plenty of other ones as well, so you should definitely check him out. We have David Beckerman coming up. He is a Marine, and he was required to take the COVID vaccine, and he refused. So he is now in a lawsuit with the federal government. And we also have Frantic Missy. She's coming back, and I'm really excited about that. She's wonderful. So was personal friends with John McAfee, and so and he kind of got Epsteined in jail, if you know what I'm saying. So we're going to be discussing his final few years on this planet and who he was and what he was like and what her opinions on his death are and her speculations. And we're going to be asking for her to submit some evidence or whatever that she wants so that we could post it during the show and we can really dive into McAfee's death in a way that we haven't done that before. So that's what we're doing. We're making great content, and yeah, it's very exciting that we have some of these really wonderful guests. Oh my God, I forgot. We also have Stephen Kent, who is a psychologist, and he works in sorry, not a psychologist. He's a sociologist, and he's a professor, and he works in Canada. and he is going to be discussing cults with us. So there are YouTube cults, in my opinion. And I sent him some channels that I thought had cult like behaviors. And so we're just going to be breaking down whether or not he thinks these qualify as online cults, because online cults do exist. An example of what would be considered an online cult might be QAnon. As much as I love their support for conservative politicians, at what cost, right? Like, we don't need to be telling people that things that aren't necessarily true. So a cult's a cult, even if you like the stuff. Hey, how are you? I was just talking to everyone about QAnon. So how are you, Michael?
I'm doing very well. I'm hating the glare from my glasses, so I'm going to lose those.
Oh, no.
But QAnon,
well,
that's the real
Look
deal.
At how pretty your eyes are.
We have to be very careful of QAnon. I'm actually, I'm going to take a very controversial stance as I speak with my cigarette. I'm pro QAnon. I'm very pro.
Why?
You know why? Because it makes people curious. Like, the great thing about QAnon is like it's like Nostradamus, right? Something crazy. QAnon would say something crazy, and you'd go, "What?" And you'd start looking stuff up. So that encourages citizen journalism. So now, if QAnon says, "Thou shalt jumpeth off the bridge," I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be curious though.
But you're gonna like research into why do they want me to jump off this bridge? Is there like something in this water? Is this like the fountain of youth that they're trying to like expose us to? Like maybe gonna do the research. I hear that. So you just came from a show. What were you up to tonight?
Okay, so when the Rona hit, when the Wuhan hit with a vengeance, I started doing Facebook Lives. And so I'm like, every Wednesday night at 8:30, because I want people on the West Coast to have a chance to at least try to get home. So they were incredibly popular. It's a pretty sweet show. So
where can people find this? Where can people find this on Facebook?
The Loftus Party. That is
perfect.
That's the group, that's the website, it's the podcast, it's the YouTube, it's the world. I'm giving you the world. So
it's good content. It's great. I'm subscribed, so it's wonderful.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, I just kind of like run down the top stories and I joke about it and I make fun of people like Joe Biden and all the idiots. And so tonight was the first night we had a live studio audience. So we had about 50 people show up. The weather is horrible here right now.
Oh my gosh.
It's really cold. It's windy like a hurricane, and it's raining. So yeah, when I'm like,
I prefer snow to rain. Oh my gosh. I am not a cold person. And
no,
cold and wet.
It's raining sideways. It's raining sideways.
No
it sucked, but the audience was great. We had a blast. They were all laughing. So, and I'm like, how can I make it better? How can I make my night better? I'm like, I bet I could do a live stream with someone else. I bet I could do a podcast with my new best bud.
Definitely best buds. Go on all those Disneyland trips together.
Yes,
all the time. Yes, we're best friends.
Space Mountain. I'll never forget that.
Never the picture that we have with that face that you made. So funny. So what was your start to you started in writing or acting? How did you get your start to
it was acting, really. I went to college for theater, and then that was a waste. I'm like, I would just rather do this. Like, why?
Did you graduate?
No, I didn't.
Nice,
I said, so long.
What year did you leave?
I left last year. It was last year. How about that? How about we keep that off? How about some things are taboo, sister?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. See, I poked a sensitive spot with Mr.
I
Loftus here.
I dropped out in 2019. It was,
Oh, really? Okay.
and
Were
then I
you a
started,
freshman or sophomore or junior? What level were you?
sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put in 2 years. It's like being in the Army Reserve. I did 2 years, and then I'm like, I rotated stateside. And then
Yeah.
I discovered stand-up comedy, which was
Okay.
the best thing ever, because with stand-up, you're the writer, you're the actor, you're the editor, you have total control. And that was just like the best experience ever. And then I was invited to join a sketch comedy an improv group. And so then I was doing that for a very long time. And then I'm like, I should probably either go to New York or go to LA, because I started in Ohio. That's where I grew up, Columbus, Ohio. Woo, I know.
That's nice.
It's
That's
very impressive.
nice. So how was the move to you moved to New York?
I moved to LA.
You moved to LA and okay, and you're in New York now, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a very long story.
How was the move to LA?
It was it was it was different. You know, you have your expectations, but I had been to New York, and New York was good, but I had family in LA. My dad grew up in LA. I have cousins in Orange County.
Oh,
So
nice.
that kind of made it, I'm like, at least I have a relative. Like if things go really bad, I can go, sleep on a relative's couch. So I'd been out in LA for a couple years, and I was doing stand up, and knock on wood, things were going really well. And I was gonna do like stand up on like the Animal Planet or some wacky uh, cable network.
Okay. All
And
right.
I get off stage and I go back into the green room to get my jacket, and there's this tall, bigger Latino guy. And he just goes, "Hey man, I watched your show. You're funny as bloop, and I want funny people to write on my show. Give me your phone number." And so I gave him my phone number, and that was George Lopez. And
Oh.
he had just got the green light to do his own show on ABC. And God bless him, he's a man of his word. They called me up like a couple of weeks later, and they're like, yeah, George Lopez saw you. He thinks you're funny and you should be a writer on the show. Could you give us a writing sample? And I'm like, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm like, I'm getting ready to go out and do some stand up this weekend. Can I give it to you when I get back? And they're like, yeah, sure. That's fine. So I was doing so that I had to drive to San Francisco. I was doing shows in San Fran for like Friday, Saturday. So all day I'm just like, so I just like wrote a script as fast as I could.
Oh my gosh. And did they give you like a premise as to what the George Lopez show would be like and for you
No,
to write a script based off of? No.
this was back in the day when they were like, just like write a sample script for any show you like, like, because that's what a spec script is.
What was your sample script about?
There was a show called Malcolm in the Middle,
Okay,
and
yeah.
and they go, "Do you have a spec script?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've got one. I'll get it to you." And then I had to call my friend up and go, "What's a spec script?" And and he explained it to me. And then I wrote, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was like Malcolm in the Middle. They went to a mall, and Malcolm messed something up, and all the power went out in the mall, and they got locked in, and the dad wanted to buy a mattress, and it was all it was funny, but it was like, I guess I
All
passed
very
the test.
sitcom.
Oh, it was total sitcom. Total
Yeah.
sitcom. But then
How
it was so much fun because all of a sudden I was, they brought me in one day a week to try me out. So like they'd have their scripts like done, but they'd go, "Oh, we're looking for a funnier joke here." And I'd go, "Oh, maybe George would say ba 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 ba." And they'd go, "Oh, yeah." And so I started getting a lot of jokes in the script. And then they were like, "Hey, could you come in 2 days a week?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then they were like, hey, do you want to just come in and be a writer full time? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So,
Oh, wow.
but
Okay.
it was really a wonderful experience because it was the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank. And like
Oh, fabulous.
every day I went in there, I'm like, I'm never going to get over this. I'm never going to, like, the water tower. I had an office and
Yeah.
you're like walking around, movie stars are walking by and you're like, this is like a fucking cartoon. It's so much. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, that's amazing. What was your next thing after that?
Well, after that, I never stopped doing stand up. And then I got invited to do the Montreal Comedy Festival. And so that was fantastic. And Fox, the people from the Fox network saw me and they wanted to develop a show. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And got really close to getting a show on the air and it didn't go. And it was, yeah, it was horrible. It was
Uh,
horrible. It was between my show and Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond.
oh.
I know. And so
That's tough.
right.
At
So
least you lost to that. At least you didn't lose to, like, I don't know, Two Broke Girls or something like that. You know what I mean?
my buddy wrote on Two Broke Girls. That show was
Oh,
funny.
I mean, that show's very funny.
Hey, it was what it was. It was very dirty. They had a lot of fun. But no, the head of the network called me up on the weekend and he goes, it's between you and Brad Garrett. And he goes, I'll be honest, I don't know comedy. I know drama. I'm probably making a horrible decision, but I think you're hilarious. I got to go with Brad. You know, he brings, and I'm like, no, it's cool. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it's all good. And then you hang up and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, look at you though. Like this has got you in like a totally new direction in life. It seems like all of your stuff is comedy. When did you start become political?
I had a bit in my act about how you're like a liberal in college. You know, you're a liberal in college and everything is like, we can figure this out. We can run through the woods and hold hands and we can hug out solutions. And then you get a real job and you make a little bit of money and then you all of a sudden you become a Republican. You're like, who the hell's FICA? So it was
FICA's a jerk.
right. I don't like FICA.
I don't like FICA either.
So it was just like a funny bit, like an observational bit. And then I had written on another show, whatever. But I was doing stand up one night. This has got to be like 2013, 2014. And I was at the Melrose Improv. No, it had to have been when was George Bush 2?
Okay, 12 was Obama, and then 8 was Obama, and so George W. Bush was 2004. So
Okay.
2000 and 2004.
Okay, it was around there because I remember everybody was railing on Bush, like every comic. And I'm like, well, this is insanely boring. It's really boring. So I went up on stage and I went, George Bush is the best president we've ever had. That son of a bitch should be on Mount Rushmore. And the place went crazy.
Wait, like angry or laughing?
Oh, I acted like I was incensed. Like, how
Okay.
dare these people? How dare they? That guy.
Okay.
And I did an impression, you know, and we cannot let North Korea cannot have nuclear weapons. No, they can't. And so, but the audience was just losing their minds. And I think they were just happy that someone was going the other way. And then there was other comics coming up to me after the show going, hey, was that an act? Are you really a conservative? And I'm like, no, I'm really a conservative. I was kind of hamming it up. And they're like, yeah, me too. And they're like, I'm like,
Oh, you mean like all of these comics who were crapping on Bush, they are all
at
conservative?
least 2 of them, at least 2 of them who
I
now
yeah.
are making bank. They're making bank by being, "We hate Trump, we hate Trump." Yeah.
I met some, Trevor Noah people once, and I asked them their political opinions, and they were all conservative, and I was like, "What are you why? Why?" Maybe that's why your content isn't funny, because you can't connect with, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It stops being funny. Have you noticed that late night shows are just not fun? I mean, you're on the funniest late night show
Thank you.
around. Your numbers have been Gutfeld has been killing it, hasn't it?
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
here's what happened to me that will give you some insight to that. Like, I was told that I'm not allowed to play in any more reindeer games in Hollywood. Like,
Hmm.
all of the late night hosts, with the exception of Greg, are from the same political. It's the same thing. It's like that Melrose night. They're all coming
Mhm.
at it from the same angle, just by being different. Just by being different, you're now it's unexpected. Oh, I don't know what Greg is going to say, and
True.
that expectation of not knowing changes everything. But
Well,
I
I
did a
mean, you know
show,
he's gonna call Cat a drug addict. I mean, you know certain
and
things,
he's gonna rail
like
on me for my jean jacket, and
yes.
he's gonna he's gonna suck up to Tyrus.
I call
Um,
him a giant. So, yeah.
yeah. So everyone knows it. Everyone in Hollywood knows it. They're like, these shows are all the same. And
Mhm.
so I was going to do. I know Trevor Noah. He's a really good guy. He's a really good guy. But that's a whole other thing. So I had a production partner, very famous person, and I'm not going to out him on this show. But we wanted to do an answer show for the Daily Show, something that was like
Mm.
more common sense, leaned a little bit to the right. And at the time, Roseanne Barr had just did her big comeback, and her ratings were huge. So the market was there, the money was there. So we went out, we took these meetings. These meetings could not have gone better. We're like, it's a daily show, but for like flyover country and blah, blah, blah. And they see my stand up and they're like, oh my God, this guy's hilarious. Oh, and he knows how to write from his sitcom days. And my production partner, big name, has produced a shit ton of hit shows on television. So they go, this show would be a giant hit. We
Mhm.
love everything about it. We would make a ton of money. We cannot put it on the air, though. We cannot be friendly to the right. And that was the biggest wake up call.
Wow.
They don't care about the money. They don't care about the ratings. The message is more important. They're very close to their ultimate goal, which is a woke America, socialism, communism, the whole nine. They're this close. And they're not going to let somebody on the air making fun of their belief system. It's
But
it's
you don't think that there's like both you and I agree, there's not like a cabal of people in Hollywood. They're not like getting in meetings together being like, make sure not to
right,
hire
right.
conservatives like Michael Locke. So like what is it that makes all of those people uniformly decide I am turning down money in favor of spreading this woke message?
Because they don't want to be the first one to do it. It's like they have a common belief system, right? It's like, oh, if you're on the right, you must believe this. So I'm not going to be the first person to show you acceptance. Maybe somebody else will do it, but it's
Mhm.
not going to be me. I'm not going to break the chain. And you don't need secret meetings. You don't need code names or anything. You just all share a belief system. And you go, there's no way I'm going to put that guy on TV, because then it looks like I'm friendly to that portion, and then it hurts their career, and then it's a down
So
death
it's
spiral.
just a fear thing.
Well, it's fear. And then if you can either give Michael Loftus a show who's going to make fun of you and your crazy beliefs that have been tried over and over again and fail every time they've tried, or I could give Samantha Bee a show, and we could make fun of those wacky Republicans. Well,
Okay.
Samantha Bee, step on up.
Doesn't she, okay, like Samantha Bee, she is paid an exorbitant amount, but she, like, I watch her show to try to laugh, and you cannot, like, not a single thing she says is even sort of kind of funny. And don't they lose a significant amount of money, like, wasting on her over you? And I just don't understand how every single network except for Fox comes to that conclusion.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the belief system. It's about, because look what they just did. They just took One America News, OAN.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, you're not allowed on DirecTV. And
what? Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that.
They kicked them off DirecTV like a couple weeks ago, and then today they kicked Newsmax off of AT&T. So
wow.
So even though the most successful cable news network by far is Fox News, they're not going to try to replicate that because it's not about the money. It's about they want to win.
Why do the systems that be allow for Fox News to exist?
I'm sorry?
Why would the systems that be that, prevent OAN and Newsmax from growing, why do they allow Fox News to be as successful as it is? Like, why not just kick Fox News off the airways as well?
Oh, they'd love to. They'd love to. But Fox News has been around since the 90s, and they're like legacy. You can't, you can't you'd have a very hard time getting rid of Fox News, but they're not going to let anyone new start. The cable, OAN, Newsmax, all that stuff they're just not going to allow it to continue because it might become more popular. So they have to nip it in the bud. It's terrifying.
I mean, it is terrifying. I mean, you must have experienced unbelievable amounts of censorship with your show because, right, you said you started it during COVID, and and being a conservative during COVID was the worst time to be online. So can you tell us what your censorship experience was?
Well, club work was really tough, but I was like with COVID, I was like most Americans, like the first 2 weeks when they're like, hey, this could be really bad. This could be really bad. So everybody, let's just lay low for 2 weeks. And everybody did. And then you're looking
to lower the curve or whatever,
right,
to flatten the curve.
And then as it kept going on, and then I was in New York and just watching what Cuomo was doing, and I'm like, well, he's killing people and he's inflating the numbers. And so I was invited, like Texas was still open. And they're like, hey, we're going to reopen our comedy club in Dallas. Do you want to come down here and do a week? And I'm like, absolutely. So I was the first comic back in that club. They reopened in Tennessee. So I worked those comedy clubs. I did a stand-up special for Fox Nation. And so, while other people were cowering, I'm like, I'll go out. I'll start slinging jokes.
That's for the live stuff. But how was your online, like your Facebook group? Like, were any of your COVID videos taken down? And
I was really careful. It's like there's like this little dance. Like I never called it COVID. I never called it the coronavirus. I always called it the Wuhan. That's and
so that's how you got away. I didn't even notice that. Like when I watch your videos, I never noticed that you never actually say the phrase.
It's all the Wuhan, and it's not the vax. It's the jab. It's all code words. Because I noticed I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is The Loftus Party, and I noticed very early on if I said the word Trump, I would be demonetized. Just automatically. And the AI, they have an AI that listens to the audio so they can transcribe it, for the purposes of closed captioning. But it's all to see what your content is. So there's words like liberty, freedom, that all like trip the AI, and they go, whoa. So it's weird. It's like there's this whole So I just found like you stay away from certain words and you go right under the radar. So that's what I've been doing.
Don't you find the self-censorship scary, though? Like, I guess
It's
you're not censoring, you're just reusing words, though, so that you could still get a point your same message.
yeah, and to me, it's like when I was writing a joke for a sitcom, there's certain things you just can't do. So you have to find a different way to convey the same idea, right?
Can you give an example?
Um, I wrote an episode of George of
Sorry, that was really on the spot.
I wrote an episode of the George Lopez show, and
Mhm.
it was his anniversary. It was he and Angie's anniversary, and he found this poem that he had written for her back when they were just dating, and it was all just about what a great ass she had and how he wanted to. So so we had to adjust the poem. Let's just say that.
Okay. Okay, I understand. Yes, that's funny. That is funny. Was
So
like, did you rewrite the poem several times, and do you have original copy of that original poem?
I might have the first draft around here somewhere in a box, but it was like I'll never break your heart. It's it's tender like glass, and oh baby, I want to tap that ass. It was just it was something like that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I wish that made the final cut.
yeah.
That's great.
I'm
That
sure
is
you'll see it
great.
on Nickelodeon at some point.
Probably true.
But
Oh,
yeah,
man.
so you have to kind of, rewrite that to get it past the censors and everything. So with YouTube, yeah, it's horrible. Like tons everybody's self-censoring. Everyone's self-censoring. Like tonight, here's some more breaking news. They just announced that Trump is going to be back on Facebook
Mm.
and Instagram. But do you think Trump's going to be like, "Ooh, maybe I shouldn't say that. They might kick me off again." Is he going to self-censor?
He wants to get kicked off again, in my opinion. He wants to be like, "Oh my god, they're gonna ban me again?" Like, how like, to stir up I don't know, and then
Yeah.
also, you have to come to Truth Social so that you won't get banned, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I hate cancel culture. I don't like it. I don't like the self-censorship, and that's actually partially why I was wearing this shirt. What's your opinion on the Justin Roland debacle?
Now
Are
tell me
you
about the Justin
following that?
Rollins debacle. I love the
So,
shirt.
thank you, thank you. These are Meeseeks, and they, keep missing their targets because 'cause they're supposed to be stormtroopers, Meeseeks,
Yeah.
and so yeah. But anyway, um, so Jess Brolin and Dan Harmon wrote Rick and Morty, that TV show,
Oh, yeah.
and then Justin Roland got kicked off permanently. So, I don't know.
Permanently for what?
So, allegedly for domestic issues, right? And then when you kind of look into his past, he said comments about, um, thinking 14-year-olds are sexually mature enough, and then, um, there were other issues of him. For instance, there's text message exchanges between him and a 16-year-old that are quite disgusting. So, like, I'm against cancel culture, right? But
Yeah.
then again, what do you think? Would you like, if you were in charge of the network, would you and now you have a contract to have 99 episodes with this person and he's only partially fulfilled that contract so far. Do you break that contract with him?
All right. So if I'm the network, I tell him he's got to take a leave of absence, and
Mm.
he's got to go to some kind of educational thing. He's got to go to some kind of therapy, and then he's got to do a public statement about what he did was wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then I try to sneak him back in. I try to sneak him back in after a few weeks, maybe a month.
Yeah. Is it because, like, you care about the content more than it's not a you could separate the content from the artist? Is that what it is?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have no problem. I have like, I'm trying to think of one person that, like, when I hear their music or see them on TV,
R.
I
Kelly.
like, I can't, but I can totally separate the art from the artist. It's crazy.
So like R. Kelly, you'll be like, yeah, get down. And then
R. Kelly to me was a joke to begin with.
okay, you never liked his music to begin
No,
with.
no.
So
Although it was hilarious. K-Rock used to do this great thing where Ralph Garman would do updates about Trapped in the Closet. Remember when R. Kelly was doing that Trapped in the Closet? It was like that epic song.
I just remember South Park making fun of it. That's all I recall.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I saw R. Kelly going down, I'm like, yeah, see you later, buddy. That's like no loss. That's really no loss.
What about Michael Jackson? You listen to Michael Jackson, doesn't make you think of like
Well, here's the thing.
Or Bill Cosby, when you watch him on television, you're not like,
No. No. I'm really not. Bill Cosby, like, I want to do like, here's the bit I always wanted to do. Like, how strong is Bill Cosby? Like, how he's the strongest man in the world. He gets the woman and he gets them home, and then you have I'm gonna make you the drink. And so then she passes out and he lifts her. Have you ever tried to carry a drunk person? It's impossible. But Bill Cosby, with the strength of 1,000 men, could somehow do this. So
I'm sure he had staff.
If you guys could come, Alfred, could you come in here and help me wrestle? I can't lift the woman to get her up the stairs to get rid of the bang the rope. Yeah.
Why are you assuming they got lifted anywhere?
That's very true. That's very true. He's probably strong enough to do buttons. He could do buttons. I think he could do buttons, but maybe not a zipper.
Maybe not. Yeah.
I can't get the.
That's where he draws the line.
I can't get these are the button fly Levi's, and I can't get with the things with the popping.
You should do like a whole bit on all the canceled people. You could do a thing on OJ, how like that was your favorite football player, how you only watch old episodes of football.
It's too funny. It's too funny. So I do this sketch comedy show, and the sketch comedy show is called That Show Tonight. And
we had the banner up. Henry could put the banner back up.
Yeah, put the banner up, Henry. Come on. Henry with the banner coming in there with the pudding pops and making. Look at that.
Job, Henry. Yeah, isn't he great?
Henry's the best. I'm a fan.
He's the best.
So yeah, it's That Show Tonight, and we're doing a big show on February 3rd is our next big studio taping, and I'm going to do a skit about Alec Baldwin doing a public service announcement about gun safety. But every time he pulls the gun out, he accidentally kills a cameraman.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Right?
That's hysterical.
Alec Baldwin, PSA, take one. Hi, I'm Alec Baldwin, and guns aren't. Oh my God. Alec Baldwin, take two. I'm Alec Baldwin, and guns. It'll just be that over and over again. It makes me laugh.
That'll be great. Thank you so much for this early preview. I feel so privileged to get this sneak peek.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun to like. So we stream the show. People can go to thatshowtonight.com and subscribe. And Jim Brewer's been doing it with us. We got a bunch of other. My buddy Dave Landau from Steven Crowder's show.
Obsessed with him. I love him.
He's so funny. He's so
funny. He really made Steven Crowder. Like when they brought him on, I was like, love.
Yeah. So he's going to be doing an episode with us. He's fantastic.
Is he really? Oh,
yeah.
That's so cool. That is really cool.
And the wonderful thing is like, so so we have our own servers. We're not with Amazon or anything. We're like completely independent. We're our own little bubble. But it's like we can do all these jokes that no one else is even going to try. They're not even going to try.
Right.
So it's like being in a Dunkin' Donuts and like no one else is having donuts. And we're like, these are free. And they're like, yeah, whatever you are. Like, okay, I'm going to have a bite of this Alan Baldwin. Ooh, give me a hunk of that Roseanne Barr. Oh, holy crap. There's Joe Biden shitting his pants. I'm going to.
Oh, you have to
there's a
do
bunch
some
of
Demi
document.
Lovato. You have to do some Demi Lovato changing her gender like every 5 seconds. You could have her like switching wigs like every.
Yes. Yeah. That would be great.
Yeah, I love all the gender stuff. I think is hysterical, and there's like not many comedians who are just making fun of that because I think that whole the I'm I'm frog and frog self, that sort of thing, the
Yes.
neo pronouns, hysterical.
Yes.
Have you done any
That's
bits
hilarious.
covering that yet?
Yes. I've already been in a one-piece suit. I was a girl swimmer, who just wanted to win. So
Yeah,
I
you just wanted your
transitioned.
fair shot.
It was
Yeah.
hilarious. It was hilarious. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're
So,
having an absolute blast.
oh, you could also do Zelensky. I would love to see your Zelensky impression because that
Yeah.
whole thing has been quite great, and like his stupid little sweatsuits and everything that he's been jogging
We
around
did
the world.
a have you ever seen those commercials, A Place for Mom?
Yeah, like the nursing home commercials.
Yeah, we did that, but it was A Place for Dad. And I was Hunter Biden and I was just wearing the scarf and I was smoking a cigarette.
And like the underwear.
Yeah. And like, I was so worried about my dad. Sometimes I have to go to an art show. And I'm like, so then we found a place for dad and it's the White House. And like, he goes on field trips. He gets to eat ice cream. He's so happy.
That's so great. That's so great.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, it's very unfortunate. Man, that is crazy that he is in the White House. Do you think he's gonna stay there for his entire term? Or do you think this whole document scandal is a way to get him out quicker?
The document scandal might be enough. It might be enough, but if I had to predict, I think it's going to be Michelle Obama against I think that's who the Democrats are going to run.
No, but do you think they're gonna keep Biden, like he's gonna stay in office all the way to 2024?
No, but he'll make it almost to the end. He'll make
And then
it
Kamala is gonna be president. So you think we're gonna have our first female president like within the next 2 years?
in a perfect world. In a perfect world, for the Democrats, they would have Joe finish out his term and then announce, like, for the good of the nation, for the good of the nation. Me and Corn Pop decided that, yeah. So he'll tap out, and then with Kamala, maybe an unexpected health issue, but she needs a way.
No, because then wouldn't McCarthy be president? And I don't think they would want McCarthy to be president. Because
Well, all
before it
this,
was Pelosi, but Pelosi's gone now. So
they
I
just
could
have
see
to run out the clock. They just have to run it out till 2024. You just need Kamala needs a reason not to run. She just needs Joe's going to go, because of the scandal for America, I'm going to bag out. And then Kamala's like, and I'm not going to run either because I just find out I got a bad rotator cuff, some bullshit. And then Michelle Obama will sweep in to save the day.
Why Michelle?
Because I think she's the only one who's unbeatable. If I'm in the Democrat hive mind, I'm like, because then you've got Barack out there campaigning with her, and then Michelle out there, and it's
And AOC is not old enough. Is that why you're not looking at AOC as a contender?
AOC might go back to dancing. I always think
she was a waitress. She wasn't a dancer.
Do you ever see that video she did where she's dancing on the rooftop?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe Henry, where can we find this video? Tell Henry what to search for, and we'll look for it.
AOC dancing rooftop.
Okay. Great. Thank you for the added insight.
I'm sorry, Henry. I didn't mean to come across like a dick.
No, never. You're the sweetest man. Thank you for being here. You're the greatest.
It's so much fun. I'm thrilled that we still have internet. It's like a freaking tornado outside.
Is this it?
No. She was in college when she did her. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this. Yeah. But this was like a dance class. This is like dance for college,
yes.
Right?
She's just letting loose. Class. She's just AOC. She's just Jenny from the block.
I have to admit, she's not a terrible dancer. Whatever.
No, she's not. I think she's adorable.
It's better. Did you see that Massachusetts? I know you think a lot of women are adorable. Did you see that one Massachusetts? Was it a congresswoman who was twerking on the beach, like upside down?
Oh yeah, and her wife was filming it, and you're like,
yes.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yes, that one.
And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the booty.
I know. I've seen your Instagram posts.
It's the best. It's the best, right? It's like you're scrolling through, you go, oh, Loftus has a booty shot for me. What will it be this week?
You're just trying to make everyone's feed nicer. You're just trying to bring a smile to everyone's face.
Here's
what is this? More Biden, Trump, Biden, booty.
Yes!
Nice little booty. I hear it. I feel that. Thank you for bringing joy to everyone's life. This is why you're here. This is why you're Michael Loftus.
It is. Yeah, it's like it really. When I started the website, theloftusparty.com, I'm like, when people think of conservatives, they think of somebody who leans right. They always think of some like old guy smoking a cigar. I'm gonna invest money in the stock market and put that. It's like. And it's like entrepreneurs are cool as shit. Like I dig entrepreneurs. I dig capitalists. I dig people who go and have great lives and have adventures and like are literally living their best lives. And so that's what I want to do. I want to keep it like upbeat. I want it to be fun. I want it to be funny. I want it to be interesting. And I want some booty and some titty too.
I'm glad you really haven't shown a lot of love for the titty, so I'm glad to hear you say it. That
Tuesday,
acknowledge it. Tuesday, oh, Titty Tuesday. Okay,
yes. Good to know. And here's another thing. To all the ladies who are watching, the side boob tattoo. That's a winner. Big fan of the side boob tattoo.
Good to know. But what happens when it's no longer in style and then you still got the side boob tattoo? That's the problem with the fads. Like remember when the tramp stamp was super hot?
The tramp stamp was great. Here's the great thing about the tramp stamp.
Now you're talking about side boob now. There is some lady who has a tramp stamp because Michael Loftus 10 years ago told her that tramp stamps are hot, and she's still walking around with a butterfly tattoo on her bottom. Okay. And now some poor girl is gonna get some side booby thing. And next thing you know, you're gonna be like, but the neck tattoo, that's it. Where it's really hot.
Oh, the teardrop. That's the one, the teardrop.
So sexy. That I really need to go in my life that I know has killed a bitch. You know what I mean?
I saw a video, okay, so people will send me pictures, which is great, which is fantastic. Somebody sent me a picture. Some girl had a side boob tattoo that was Superman. It was a Lego Superman, and he was holding up. he was holding up the boob, and like you're always gonna want that. You're never gonna be. You could be 88 years old.
Can you not see the Lego until after you lift it? Is that how it worked, or was
No,
it
it's
like
just right there on the side, just like it's
That's
great.
cute. That is cute. That is
It
cute.
is.
So, how many comedians do you have on the Loftus party?
Oh, tons. Like, I have guests on the podcast all the time who are comedians. More and more comedians are starting to contribute because I want contributors, from everywhere. So, there's tons. There's tons.
Do you have any liberals?
Here, you know what? Here's the best thing. There we go.
Do you want us to play any of them? And we could watch one of them if you want.
I did a video. Oh, it's not up there yet. It's not up. Go to. Hey, there's a
Look at that
booty for
booty.
you. Oh, and that's a great cheeseburger recipe. You've got to make these cheeseburgers.
It kind of looks like a White Castle.
It kind of is. It's a Wisconsin butter burger, and oh my God, they're so delicious. But there's a YouTube video I did where I'm Nancy Pelosi talking about getting her house exorcised from ghosts.
Oh, I cannot believe that's a true thing, right? She actually had an exorcism on her house after Paul Pelosi's hammer attack, right?
Yes. So
what's your take on the hammer attack?
So it's in the video. If Henry goes to YouTube.
Okay, Henry is gonna find it on YouTube. He's a smart lass.
So
he's from the UK.
Ooh.
Fancy.
He's got the monocle and everything.
He does. He does have a monocle and the little twisty beard.
Yep. Because I think you have to have that.
One is it? Oh, is it the last one? Oh, it is. It's the first one, Henry.
Nancy Pelosi gets exorcism. So yes.
Okay.
It's me, Nancy Pelosi, former Speaker of the House. I don't do that job anymore, but don't worry about Nancy Pelosi. I've been busy. My friends keep me busy. My friends, Jose Cuervo and Don Julio, keeping me very busy. Whoo! And they say hello. So there have been a rumor going around that I hired some priests to exercise my house, and yes, I did. I brought in the big guns, priests, and you would have too, if you would have seen what I have seen and heard what I
it's
have
the
heard.
hand.
So here is the stories. I came home in San Francisco early, and house is dark, and I come inside, it's very quiet, and then I hear ghosts. Upstairs, there's two ghosts, and they're having some kind of fight. And so I stop and listen, and you hear the ghost like, and then the other ghost, he's fighting back. He's like, with kind of muffled sound. He came up. This fight went on for a while, and I got scared. I left the house because I didn't wait to see who won the house fight. Thank you, Jose. I will tell the other one. So then it happens a second time. I come home late. I'm going to surprise Paul. I miss Paul. and I hear the ghost having a fight, but this fight is different. Sure, there's the same noises like and then the other ghost like back and forth for a while. And then the one ghost asks the other ghost, he's like, who is your daddy? So there must be some kind of like family history lineage question. Because he's like, who is your daddy? And then the other ghost, he can't even tell what he's saying. It's almost like he's muffled, like he's like talking through a pillow or something. I was so scared. I said, Paul, help me, Paul. And then the ghost stopped, and Paul came downstairs. And he was like in a bathrobe, just very sweaty. And I'm like, Paul, did you hear that ghost fight upstairs? And Paul says, yes. I did. That's what that noise was. It was a ghost fight. So we were both very scared, but Paul's still brave. He sat in the kitchen. In a very loud voice, Paul says, "Ghost upstairs. Nancy is home, and you should leave the house now. We'll wait in the kitchen." And so I closed my eyes. Paul told me to. And then you can hear the
Paul
ghost
told me to.
coming down the stairs. And the front door and going outside. So scary. I couldn't. I had to get a priest to exorcise them fighting ghosts.
Oh my God.
Here's the strange thing though. The priest came and he's swinging around the incense burner in the water and talking the ixtu, ripstu, dominates and the Latin stuff. And now when I go home, I don't feel good. It makes me dizzy and kind of sick to my stomach. So thank you for watching out for me, everybody, and helping me fight those ghosts. I might have to find a new place to live. I hope the ghosts don't follow me and Paul anywhere. I think they might. We'll see.
That's great.
That made me laugh so hard.
That's so great. The whole thing was just so insane. The whole, like, I thought it was insane prior to the exorcism. How do you, is there, like, because Nancy's Catholic, is there a ceremony to cleanse your house after homosexual sexual relations? Maybe that was what they did instead of like an exorcism.
I think she got a priest in to come and bless the house just because there was like negative energy and why not have it? But like the church, the Catholic Church says, yeah, we didn't do that. So she found some rogue priest somewhere doing something.
Really?
I don't think she
didn't the Catholic Church like tell her that she was no longer Catholic for supporting abortion?
It's the whole killing the babies thing. They tend to frown upon that.
that one little thing, just like get over it already. Like,
and Nancy's like, isn't there something we can do to get around that? There's just a little technicality, just killing innocent babies. Come on, Jesus will approve.
It's as if these people have like never tried adrenochrome, as she obviously loves. Right? So, like, they just don't get it.
Right.
But you know,
they don't.
Then they would end up liking it more if maybe they tried it. Don't knock it till you try it. Is all.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. But yeah, I thought it was just hilarious that Nancy would come home and she would hear strange moaning, and then Paul tells her it's a ghost fight.
Yes, it was. I also heard it.
I'm so glad you said so. I heard it too.
Ghost. Yeah. Wait, when we spoke, you said something about you weren't involved in that ghost show, were you, at one point?
No.
Ghost,
I met a couple of dudes.
Yeah,
I met a couple of guys who were ghost hunters at CPAC.
Yes, that's where we met.
Yeah.
And we were talking to the ghost hunter guys.
Yeah, and then there's a buddy of mine in LA who has a very good friend who wrote and did another ghost hunting show, which I think that stuff, I don't know.
Did you see Demi Lovato's ghost hunting show?
I did not. Where was it? Was it in the fridge? Did she have to check the fridge every half an hour?
Okay.
There's ghosts in this ice cream.
Henry needs to find it. She sings to the ghost because she could tell that it's a ghost that experienced sexual trauma. So she sings to it to alleviate its pain. I think she even makes the men leave the room. So it's just like the
That's so great. That's so great.
I love celebrities. They're so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite person to impersonate?
Nancy Pelosi.
That's your favorite person?
Right now. Yeah. I mean,
do you have a Nancy Pelosi wig?
I'm getting one. I'm getting one for for the next show on February 3rd. It's just, it's so fun because her hand is always going. That's the part that I like that, this hand that just like moves independently, and like everything that she does, it's like talking to a really drunk person. Listen, I mean this. Listen, we got to defend democracy, Constitution. And
did you see that Twitter account that just slows down everything she says by like a slight bit, and it makes her just it's hysterical. It makes her sound like
rails. She's off the rails. Yeah. It's entertaining.
All right. Well, usually I open it up for questions. So let's let the audience, let's give them a moment. Let's let them ask any questions that they may have.
Yes.
And yeah, let's do that.
No, it's not. Is the brick wall made of real bricks? If real means fabric, yes. This is a backdrop.
Yeah. Will Trump win the primary and become the next POTUS in 2024? If so, will he be running against Biden, Harris, or another Democrat? So yeah, you kind of already.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Michelle Obama versus Trump.
Wait, Trump and not DeSantis?
Yeah.
These are Truth for Liberty is kind of a troll. But yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all your time.
It was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun. You have a wonderful show, and I'm just glad that Henry and I, that bad blood is behind us, and we're good now. Clean slate.
Yeah.
Clean slate.
I mean, he's still planning on flying over to New York and having fisticuffs, but
that's what I'm worried about. The old fisticuffs. The old underhanded 1820.
Thank you so much for being here. Have a good night, Michael.
You're awesome. You too. Take care. Ta-ta, Henry. Until next time.
Bye, everyone. We are